Welcome to another edition of Tizgi Podcast. It's been a very eventful weekend. All roads lead to Joburg. Those who are in Joburg but will be just viewers of this thing, Mapagania. When's Njani? Hi, Bafetu, welcome.
Shompo.
It was an interesting weekend in Orlando, Lufuno.
Super.
I saw somebody building up...
Mukoko.
The man with the pink hair.
He owns the old Orlando Stadium. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs and Sundowns supporters, they say they want to erect his statue there in Orlando.
Yeah, man, the Cox,
and that stadium will be called Orlando Mukoko Stadium. He owns them.
Cox, when you look at because now it's becoming clearer who's going. There are certain things that, and I don't think we give Stellenbosch enough credit. For the third edition now, they're in the group stages.
Yeah.
Last season semi-finalist. Are Stellenbosch becoming a continental giant?
And not just, I mentioned it last week, not just semi-finalist, not just making it third time in a row, but they're also part of the teams that were seeded. They were higher in terms of the point ranking.
Oh, yes.
So now
because by the end of this tender, they'll probably be South Africa's number 2.
All the variables are starting to work in their favor. That's why now they play less preliminary rounds. So now there's a less chance to knock them out. You know, the more rounds you play in the prelim, you get you get tired and you'll get knocked out. But yeah, so
Coach Steve Barker is cooking something there.
Yeah, but he needs to start cooking in the league as well because that's bread and butter. He still needs to maintain, the third position.
Bread and butter. Coach Manqoba said Champions League is bread and butter for Sundowns. Lufuno, welcome to Continental Staff, Kosi.
I'm within.
You are within?
I'm within.
So you changed stadium and now you are in.
I always tell you, South African teams should make the semi-final every time when they go to this thing of Africa.
Well, last season in the Champions League, you were backing Pirates. Now you must go find another team.
I'm not backing anyone. I've got my own team. I'm backing myself. And I went there with style.
Guys, we can't elephant in the room. There was some bad blood between Orlando Pirates and Lupopo guys. Because you saw there was now stricter measures of entry. People had to show who they are.
Now, that's not good for football, Mpo. Honestly speaking, we want our African football to grow. But the African football does not grow only on the pitch, but also must grow from outside in terms of administration, in terms of how we receive each other. We are all brothers at the end of the day. And football is a game of 90 minutes. If now you will see people fighting, I mean, I was amazed that even the players were not allowed to enter the stadium. But that is very bad.
But Cox, in defense of Orlando Pirates, when they went to Congo, the way they were handled, all they were doing, one can argue that they just returned the favor.
But then you have to ask yourself, because Lufuno is raising a very valid point, who then has to stop it? Because we don't condone it in totality, irrespective of where it started. As much as we're going to call out Lupopo, we're also going to call out Orlando Pirates. So there's no way where we're going to say, okay, maybe because so-and-so started it, now it's okay for you to now carry out the whole thing that, of retaliation. So we're calling it off. Kef is in a very good position.
But this thing is biblical. If somebody slaps you this side, you must kill.
You must tell the cheek.
You don't slap back. You don't slap back. You don't slap back.
You're out of order.
Yeah.
So turn the other cheek.
Me, turn the other cheek
but
after I'm done.
Maybe because I'm in Confed, we need to look at the teams that are there.
No,
big teams.
The draw on the third.
Forget about the draw, but I'm just saying that you highlight the teams and you look at the countries that are really taking it serious.
I'm sorry to interject, to a point that I think the Confed this season
it's more difficult,
stronger than the Champions League.
It is.
Most of the teams that are in the Champions League this time around, they're teams that were performing in the Confed Cup. So now you look at most of the teams that were predominantly in the Champions League
are now in the Confed.
I told you guys about Zamalek. They found a cheat code to be in this Confed Cup so that they can stead pedal. So they are comfortable there. It's very tough.
Yeah, because I mean you got Wydad, you got
Tembigosi,
you got Zamalek,
you got
Belouizdad, you got USM Alger. You've got Kaizer Chiefs. You've got Stellies.
Champions League finalist.
You got Zesco.
Yes,
Champions
you got Azam.
Semi-finalist.
Yeah, so if you look at the actual team, and let's welcome the boys in Tanzania. You got Azam, and who's the coach? Who's the coach?
Monsieur Benge.
Who's the coach? So that's very important to look at. And you got Black Stars, Zingita Black Stars from Tanzania. So if you look at it in essence, every nations here or country has got two. South Africa has got two. Tanzania, they've got two. In Egypt, they got two. And in Morocco, they also have two. You also have the Algerian contingent, is two. So it's
so in terms of Confed, everybody meets their quota.
Yes.
Utilizing the problems comes in the Champions League because South Africa only sending one.
Yes.
But looking at the way things are, because we saw teams come back. We saw a Yanga come back from a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah.
And Yanga have now got a new coach. How would you say it was the new coach or it was because
he was not on the bench? Let's give credit to Mabedi.
So we give credit to Mabedi.
Has done a wonderful job to turn around the score and to win 2-0 and so that Yanga can be where they are. And one thing about Yanga, they're not far off from what Chipampengezi does. When the coach is not they fire a coach. You know, teams needs to make
decisions.
You need to make decisions.
I don't have a problem with Yanga making decisions. My issue is the first decision they make.
It's wrong.
For them to be forced to make those decisions. Make the proper decision from the flow chart has to start from the base.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure the proper decision, hire the right people.
Let's welcome the coach. And I took time to look at the coach that they're bringing in.
I mean, he's a former national team coach of Angola.
No, look at this. It's very strong. It's a guy that coached.
They make decisions very fast.
He really coached very strong in youth development as well. And he's been throughout in the Angolan league, coaching the national team. For a long period as well. So I think the guy, yes, he doesn't have Champions League experience, but he's got continental experience. He understands how to play continentally. So let's see.
Lufun was talking about pedigree. It's amazing how far we've come.
Lufun has transformed. That's why something changed.
But the guy,
he's now arguing with himself. It's so nice watching Lufun argue with himself. It's like we can just play clips that of the previous episode.
He's got a lot of in his plate. Yanga are not pushovers there. Simba, Azam, the Tanzanian league is transforming because it's not longer a 1 or 2 team show. And Mr. Ibenge,
Azam are serious.
Mr. Ibenge there is very serious.
Talking about serious stuff, Orlando Pirates, the mountain was too. I mean, there's a song when Mapagania sings it, but Gangani, Sizophume Emara, this Gangani, man, is the problem.
Yeah, I think Pirates beat themselves. Now, I can tell you, Pirates beat themselves. For me, looking at Pirates, I think they've got a tendency when they're playing preliminary rounds to undermine the teams that they're going to play. It's not for the first time they get knocked out in the preliminary. Jwaneng knocked them out. There's a team in Zambia.
The 1 year, Green,
they knocked them out.
Yes.
They've got that tendency and of not profiling the team in the correct way.
Green Eagle coach saying football is played on the pitch.
Yes, they talk too much.
That's what he said.
So for me, I think Pirates beat themselves. One, I think the approach in DRC was wrong, and they considered too many goals. And coming home, they could have scored goals. I think the starting lineup as well, it didn't speak to what they were looking at. Because the goals they scored, the goals they scored, I mean, there's one on goal there, there's 2 on goal deflections. So, look, they granted the result and got the result. But when you go to the penalties with a team like Lupopo, they will take their opportunities because they know.
But Lufuno, isn't it a problem, Cox? And funny, you've always said this, and I've always agreed with this statement. In the Champions League, don't forget who you're playing against.
Don't forget who you're playing.
But you know what's funny? The two of you are not talking about pedigree when we talk about the Pirates coach in the Champions League, by the way.
Well, he showed he's got no pedigree. It's self-explanatory.
There's something that we mustn't take for granted. There are 2 things that you shouldn't take for granted. Saint-Éloi Lupopo, for them to be there.
They knocked off Mazembe.
TP Mazembe.
very huge.
It's a big institution.
Continental giant.
They've moved the whole house.
The second thing that I want to mention, maybe a lot of people would take it for granted, but in any penalty shootout, if you win the toss, it's advisable for you to go first.
But here's my thing.
Whatever happens, the momentum will be through. Playing catch up in a penalty slot, it becomes a problem for you. And who won the toss?
But going to the toss, now the inexperience of Mbogazi was showing because he seemed not to be sure what to do. He wanted to toss and then go to the... Does that not say then, while you're building up a youngster and you've given him captaincy, was that not his shortcomings on the day, Cox?
Yeah, these are school fees that he has to pay. But, I like the fact that he has people to consult. So there can never be a point I'll come and criticize Mbogazi's leadership because we know he's been groomed. And yes, he has that title. He's carrying the armband. However, there are senior players. Orlando Pirates is one team that has captains. So being a leader there, you must know that you are truly a leader. So he'll always consult these guys.
While Mbogazi is a leader, whoever signs Sihle there by Pirates must get a bonus. That guy from Stellenbosch, for me, when you look at that boy, talent Mbata may not go to AFCON or the World Cup. I wouldn't be shocked.
Let me tell you something. One thing about...
Or Obas is not going.
One thing about Moko Bros, he knows their players. He's going to select
so
them.
Form is not going to matter.
And for me, I just feel that the coach, whatever that he has with Mbata, he need to sort it out. Because Mbata is a very important player for Orlando Pirates. In a team where the team is playing low block, Mbata he's got accurate shots outside of the box. He can win you games from that position.
But Lufuno, look at the side that is the players of Orlando Pirates. I think this season, Pirates have assembled the best team.
They've elevated the game.
Because when you look at any player, and for me, it's what I've always said, you need to have players that are always ready to play regardless of what stage they come in.
But the biggest criticism of the coach, especially when the season started, was the fact that you are changing too quickly. There's no need. Yes, eventually it'll get there. How many pages did he say he's got of the philosophy? So before you get to page 60,
you must arrive.
Make sure that you have your old guard that's going to transition. That's one thing that's happening at Kaizer Chiefs, and we might be throwing shade at them, but they're not getting excited about new toys. They're trying to take off the pressure from the new toys. Now you see when his new toys come in, they're able to slot in and perform because now these guys that are playing in the field, they're used to getting that criticism. They're used to being in a position where it is that we've gotten so much flack. Now we have to improve. They're elevating their game.
But Lufuno, an anomaly happened. The season start, Kaizer Chiefs had a different captain. 10 games in, 12 games in, now we've been told, or now you've got a new captain.
Yeah, look, to be honest, it's not for the first time that Peterson wears the armband.
He was a coach at some point.
Yeah, he was a coach at some point. He's got great leadership skills. Sometimes, when you want other players to perform better, you need to remove the captain armband from them to release the pressure out of them so that they can perform. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs has a lot of leaders as well. When they sign players, a lot of players that they've signed were captains of the previous teams. You could talk about Miguel, you could talk about Quinika, Msimango is there, Dotley is there. These guys were all captains, at one stage. So that's what you need. But at the end of the day, these are the new coaches that have been taking over from Nabi. Maybe they see from what they see from the training ground that maybe they want a captain that can be able to look at the game and allow these other players to carry the responsibility of playing.
Wow, very interesting times ahead. But looking at Champions League squad, the teams that are there, while Cox may say it's a bit easier, yes, we still have the outstanding feature of Pyramid and Eras.
But it's not as tough as it normally
is. You got the big boys there, Cox. You got the big boys.
And that's what I'm saying. It's going to be easier for
the elimination of Pirates doesn't make it any easier.
No, but I disagree because it's going to be easier for the regulars that are there. I look at pot 2, for example. Look at the teams that are going to go into pot 2. They're not your regulars or so. Young not just end up in there.
But that's where you get surprises in the Champions League.
The magic is in
last season we had a surprise of Pyramid. The previous season we had a surprise of Yanga. I am telling you now, Kabili is back in that. They're not pushovers. And you know who's coaching them? former Orlando Pirates coach. So you can see, it's going to be very tough. These are the guys that, when they come to the party, I mean, you got Ali is still there, Sundowns is there.
I think also we shouldn't underestimate MC Algiers.
No, MC Algiers are so coach.
Coach Rulani is there.
They're not a pot one team.
But Rulani, Coach Rulani is there.
Coach Rulani is now reading. He knows a lot about South African history, June 16 and that stuff. But when I saw the videos, he's reading up and, he wants those players to give back to the supporters that have been there for them.
And psychologically, Rulani has them. I saw when he was addressing the dressing room. Yes, there's a translator, but the translator doesn't have to do much.
Yeah.
No, but
the time is done. The guys are fired up. You know?
Okay, but Coach Rulani, as a parting shot, be careful of the translator. Just look at Kaizer Chiefs. Translators have taken over. We look forward to hosting everybody on the 3rd of November for the draw in Joburg. Welcome. Mapagania. We need marshals to be able to marshal the people in because Mukoku's coming. He's coming for the draws. See you next week.
I saw a cherry and it was red.